everyone, I'm Sarah, and today I'm going to be doing a story time of 3 times I was sent to the school psychologist. Yes, I was sent there. I didn't casually just walk into the psychologist's office. Also, this video is just like funny. It doesn't have anything to do with like depression or anything, so don't worry about that. A little background information for me as a child. I was a weird kid. I was mean, I had a really dark sense of humor, and I loved creative writing. I would always write these weird stories and make people read them. That's kind of important to the story. So I'm actually going to tell the stories in chronological order. So the first story takes place when I was in 5th grade. I was 10 years old at the time. We were reading this book by Roald Dahl called Danny's Great Adventure, something like that. It was a book by Roald Dahl about a boy who goes with his grandpa to go hunt pheasants. And it's just about them, their relationship, and whatever. I hated the book. I didn't pay attention at all. So at the end of reading the book, the teacher was like, everyone write an alternative ending for the story. And I was like, yes, hell yes, I'm excited. This is my time to shine. I love creative writing. This is gonna be so funny. It's gonna be so great. I'm gonna get 100 on this assignment. I was hyped, people. So this is not an exaggeration. This is literally what I wrote word for word. Danny, the main character, meets a girl on eHarmony and they run away to Sweden and he forgets about his grandpa. That's literally what I wrote, that they ran away to Sweden. I guess when you're like 10 years old in America, Sweden is like this funny joke, far away land of something, I don't know. So a few days pass by. My teacher comes up to me with an envelope. The school psychologist's name was like something like Miss Cranberry. It wasn't Miss Cranberry, but it was something with berry in it. She's like, oh, can you just run this real quick down to Miss Cranberry's office? And at the time, I'm like, hell yeah, like the teacher is asking me to do them a favor, like this is lit. I never got picked to do like errands for teachers. I thought I was just gonna like walk down the hallway, give the teacher an envelope, walk back, skip. This was like before email was really big, so teachers would like give each other paper messages and they would have students hand them back and forth. On my way there, I'm literally skipping. I'm skipping through the hall. Yes, I'm missing 5 minutes of class. I was picked. I was chosen. So I get there. I hand the teacher the envelope. I'm turning to walk out and Miss Cranberry goes, can you just have a seat for me real quick, Sarah? Me? And in that moment, I'm like, this betrayed me. So we both sit down. Miss Cranberry opens the envelope and she pulls out a photocopied loose leaf paper of my assignment, my alternative ending, photocopied, my handwriting and everything. And I'm literally like, what? I felt so betrayed. This is the actual conversation we had. I am not exaggerating. This is pretty much exactly how it went from what I can remember. Now, Sarah, do you know what eHarmony is? Yes. What is eHarmony? A dating website? Yes, a dating website. Do you know anyone who has met on eHarmony? No. How do you know about eHarmony? TV commercials? I'm not exaggerating, y'all. That was the conversation. I'm pretty sure she just like sent me back after that. I don't know what compelled them to send me to the psychologist for that. I guess maybe they thought they wanted to make sure that I wasn't on eHarmony, or they wanted to make sure that I didn't have like a family who was on eHarmony and I was being like traumatized because of it or something. But yeah, thinking back on it as an adult, I'm so like weirded out by things that adults like did and said to me. I don't know if you guys feel the same way about like things that adults said to you when you were a kid and you think back and now you're an adult and you're like, what? Anyway, the second story takes place when I'm about 12 years old. I was in 7th grade and I had written a short story. Again, the creative writing putting me in the gutter, self-incriminating. But I had this old English teacher from the year before. I gave her a copy of my short story and I was like, hey, can you edit this for me? Can you like read it over and like fix all the grammatical errors and blah blah blah? And she was like, yeah, sure, no problem. I spoke to one of my friends about this story recently and we kind of determined that this teacher did the right thing, doing what she had to do. This was a day goes by, I don't know how many days, 1, 2 days. I get called down to the psychologist's office. This is a different psychologist because this is a different school. I was in middle school at this point, and the psychologist just calls me in and she's like, oh, hi, like just wanted to see like how you were doing, just wanted to like check up on you. And I see on her desk another copy of my story, like a copy sitting right there, written notes on it, and she doesn't mention it. There's no, you wrote this story. I'll tell you guys what was in the story. It was about a girl who had like a terminal illness, like a 10-year-old girl, and then she kills her brother and her mom. And then herself. I guess the teacher definitely had good intentions and did the right thing, but it was just weird that I went to the office. She didn't say anything about the story. She just like asked me how I was. And then I just left and I went about my day. It never came up again. I went to my teacher and I was gonna be like, yo, why'd you send me to the psychologist? But then I just didn't say that. She gave me back the story with notes. She was like, oh, this part was really good and I liked this part. I was like, what? She just acted like nothing happened. Looking back as an adult, I do think she did the right thing. Creative writing is like a hard thing. I guess she probably saw it as like maybe a cry for help. I wanted to like kill my family or myself. I'll give her that one. This last story takes place a year after this. I think I was 13. I was in 8th grade. So it's just a normal day for me. Nothing weird. And I get called down to the psychologist's office. Unexpected. At this point, I was used to it. I was a freaking basket case, I guess, and they wanted me down there all the time. But I just get down there and there's no reasoning. I had no idea why I was being called down there. The psychologist just talked to me for like 30 minutes about nothing, just to like see if I was okay. So I'm thinking so hard. I'm like, who sent me to the psychologist? Like, who decided that I needed to go to the psychologist? Like, is it my art teacher? I really thought that it was my art teacher because in art class, I sat really close to the teacher. She would just hear me talking all the time. So if I said something weird, like one time, she would hear it. I thought for a while, brain blast, sudden flashback, time travel. A few days before, I was late to class. I was one of those kids who was always late. I was always in detention, always signing in, getting called down to the office, my name in lights. One of the attendance women, I really didn't like, she really didn't like me. She goes, Sarah, why are you always late all the time? You're not gonna get into a good college if you're late all the time. She said something along those lines about me not getting into college and being late and it looking bad on my college application. I was like, oh, I don't really want to go to college. I just don't really think that I like want to go to college. Oh my gosh, Sarah, don't say that about yourself. And in that moment, I was like, ding, 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 ding. That was the moment that got me sent to the psychologist. Like, you're not even allowed to not want to go to college. They really don't let you have self-expression in middle school. Looking back on these stories, it's so weird for me to think about, especially as an adult. It's interesting how like all of these people just like sent me to the psychologist, but like not one of them said to my face, oh, are you okay? Like they just told the psychologist they were concerned. The psychologist really didn't say anything to me either. I just felt so much betrayal at these moments, looked at like a specimen. I do understand that they really were just trying to help and that they all had pretty good intentions, but I was completely caught off guard every time I was sent to the psychologist. I do have some other stories of being sent to the psychologist and the principal's office and other stuff like that, and I'm gonna make other videos about that, but those are kind of like different topics. Have you guys ever been sent to the psychologist's office like for a weird reason that didn't really make sense to you, at least didn't make sense to you at the time? I really want to know because I know that schools do a lot of weird stuff to their students and weird like punishments. The ironic song recommendation of the day is Working Class Hero by John Lennon. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll be uploading more videos, so hit that subscribe.